Good day! Welcome to Mom She Teaches M's classroom. Join me as we explore the wonders of Mathematics 8. Hope you learned something new today. Let us cite example of factoring sum and difference of two cubes. Example 1. Factor x cubed plus 8. To factor this, we ask, how can we get the first and the second term of the binomial factor? How about its sign? We know that x cubed plus 8 is the same as x cubed plus 2 raised to the power of 3. Therefore, we can say that the cube root of x cubed is x and the cube root of 8 is 2. Our binomial factor will be x plus 2. What about the trinomial factor? To get the first term of the trinomial factor, we get the square of the first term of the binomial factor. X times x is x squared. To get the third term of the trinomial factor, we square the second term of the binomial factor. 2 raised to the power of 2, and that is equal to 4. To get the middle term, multiply the first and the second term of the binomial factor, x times 2 or 2 times x, and that is 2x. To get the sign of the middle term, we get the opposite sign of the binomial factor. This is a plus sign, therefore our middle term for the trinomial factor, the sign will be a minus sign. The factors of x cubed plus 8 will be x plus 2 times the trinomial x squared minus 2x plus 4. Example 2. Factor 64y cubed minus z cubed. To factor this, once again, we get the cube root of 64y cubed and z cubed. We know that 64y cubed minus z cubed is the same as 4y raised to the power of 3 minus z raised to the power of 3. Therefore, we get the binomial factor. For the cube root of 64, it's 4. The cube root of y cubed is y. And the cube root of z cubed is z. Since our product has a minus sign, our binomial factor has a minus sign as well. To get the trinomial factor, we get the first term. The square of the first term is 4y raised to the power of 2, and that will be 16y squared. To get the third term of the trinomial factor, we square the second term of the binomial factor, z raised to the power of 2 or z squared. To get the middle term, multiply the binomial factor, the first and the second term of the binomial factor for y times z, and that will be 4yz. Therefore, our factors for 64y cubed minus z cubed are 4y minus z times the trinomial 16y squared plus 4yz plus z squared. Example 3. Factor 27m cubed plus 125n cubed. To factor this, we get the cube root of 27m cubed, and we have here 3m. To get the factor, the cube root of 125n cubed, that is 5n. To get the trinomial factor, the first term of the trinomial factor is the square of the first term of the binomial factor. So I have 3m raised to the power of 2. To get the third term of the trinomial factor, we square the second term of the binomial factor. So 5n raised to the power of 2. To get the middle term, multiply the first and the second term of the binomial factor. We have here 3m times 5n. The sign of the middle term is the opposite sign of the binomial factor. We have here plus sign for the binomial factor, and we have the negative sign for the trinomial factor. Then we simplify the trinomial factor. 3m raised to the power of 2 is 9m squared. And for the last term, 5n raised to the power of 2 is 25n squared. For the middle term, we multiply negative 3m times 5n, and we get negative 15mn. Therefore, the factor of 27m cubed plus 125n cubed are 3m plus 5n multiplied to the trinomial 9m squared minus 15mn plus 25n squared. Example 4. Factor 8b cubed c cubed minus 27d to the 6. To do this, again, we get the cube root of the first term and the second term. So the cube root of 8 is 2, the cube root of b cubed is b, and the cube root of c cubed is c. For the second term, cube root of 27 is 3. The cube root of d raised to 6 is d squared. So this is now our binomial factor. For the trinomial factor, we multiply 2bc by itself to get the first term of the trinomial factor. To get the last term of the trinomial factor, we multiply the second term of the binomial factor to itself. 3d squared times 3d squared, or 3d squared raised to the power of 2. To get the middle term, we multiply the first and the second term of the binomial factor, 2bc times 3d squared. We simplify our trinomial factor. 2bc raised to the power of 2 is 4, b squared, c squared. To simplify 3d squared raised to the power of 2, that is 9, d to the fourth. And for our middle term, 2bc times 3d squared, that's 2 times 3 is 6. bc times d squared is bcd squared. Therefore, the factors of 8b cubed c cubed minus 27d to the 6 are 2bc minus 3d squared times the trinomial 4b squared c squared plus 6bcd squared plus 9d to the fourth. That's all for today. See you in our next video lessons. Keep safe, everyone.